Hey guys, it's Dad from Hot and Moving. So we just completed Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Shout out to OKC, town of the series. I mean, look, man, nobody thought that. I listen. It would have been a really pleasant surprise to see Indiana Pacers actually win Game 2. Man, I think everybody. I mean, if we're gonna bet on that game, I mean that's like the easiest money you can make. OKC was not gonna go down 0-2 to Indiana Pacers, which sets up for a very interesting series back in Indiana. As that series is tied 1-1. So. Look, I don't know what the ratings are going to be for that game, but there's just been the conversation about overall the past year. I'd say probably going on 2 years of just how the decline in NBA viewership, right? And in particular for Game 1 of the NBA Finals, they had a very, very low rating, right? It said that it got the game peaked with more than 11 viewers during Indiana's late comeback. So basically, I mean, but prior to their comeback, when more people were tuning in. The game was bad overall. So like, look, it was bad, and then the last 2 minutes was fine, right? But I don't know if that's a product of people not watching the game because it was bad, or because people aren't really watching the NBA Finals, and they really aren't familiar with the players that are in these finals right now, right? So it says viewership for Game 1 NBA Finals are down 19% over 2024, marking an expected decline for the battle for the small market and pace Oklahoma City Thunder, despite another magical comeback for Tyrese Halliburton and Indiana. Thursday night game averaged 8.9 million viewers, making the least watched Game 1 since 1988 outside of the C19 era. NBA Finals, it's a far cry compared to last year's Game 1 blowout by Boston over Dallas, which drew nearly 11 million average viewers. I mean, a couple things are operating here, and look, I mean, I think true NBA fans are going to watch the game, right? I think that's majority of the viewership the NBA is going to get is going to be from true fans who, if your team is not in it, but you want to see a competitive series, I think everybody thought that this series is going to be competitive, regardless of the team markets and just the players involved in terms of them not being these mega stars. That when I say mega stars, meaning like they transcend households, like, you know, they're gonna tune in regardless, right? Halliburton and Shea Gillis, these aren't players. Yeah, people can call them superstars, that's totally fine, but are they going to get ratings? Are people tuning in to watch Tyrese Halliburton? If you're not, if you're a general NBA fan and you just want to watch a star player, is Halliburton on your list? Same for Shea. As great and efficient as Shea is he a guy you want to tune in and watch? For me, honestly, both these guys aren't guys that I would just tune in and watch. I'm tuning in because I'm intrigued by the matchup and competition. I'm an NBA fan, right? And I like to talk about these games for my channel and stuff like that, right? I'm just a basketball fan, period. So even the NFL, there's times where I'll watch teams play that, hey, it's an intriguing matchup. They're not my teams, but I'm going to watch, right? But NFL's king, right? NFL is always going to dominate viewership. They've built their product to be that way and not be player dependent. So look, the NBA, they don't really care though. I mean, I don't think the NBA, I mean, sure, the NBA can care about the ratings, but I mean, they're locked in contracts, right? They're always going to have product to sell to companies, right? Whether this viewership is declining, is lower, companies still going to want those TV rights. They're still going to want those 8-10 million views regardless, right? It does show that, is this a product of, are we in an era of, playerless basketball going forward, right? I mean, this series highlights that, right? More the teams that we see in these finals, the team concept is not singularly player driven. Although Shea, you can make the case that things stop and go as Shea, but people make the case that for OKC, their defense leads them in a lot of ways more than Shea does, right? Which makes for compelling basketball for true NBA fans. But the general fans aren't going to be too familiar with the players on his team. They aren't going to be too familiar with the players on either teams, and also the style of play that each team plays at, right? So there's that. But nonetheless, though, the NBA, but it's still a decline. Decline regardless, right? Do advertisers see that as a problem, right? I don't know, but streaming houses, networks are still gonna fight for to have the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I know people are tired of hearing about LeBron Steph, KD. When is the league gonna move forward from them, right? And I don't know if they can right away. They're in the right direction as we get familiarized with the general public get familiarized with some of these other players. But I just don't that LeBron, Curry, KD effect. If they're in the finals, these ratings will be up a little bit more. It would be, could have if Anthony Edwards was able to make the finals, would we still have the same results, right? As much as Anthony Edwards is slowly becoming a household name, is he really that household name that people are going to tune in to watch him play, regardless if he's on your team or not, or for the casual NBA fan who just kind of are loose casually, like they casually track it but not fully track it. But is Anthony Edwards in their mind where they want to watch it, right? Is the NBA Finals still an entertainment viewing option in this day and age? I don't think it is at this point, unless you're for true NBA fans. The game, I think the game is improving. I think the game is getting better. I think seeing these two teams be in the NBA Finals is a sign that the game is growing in a healthy direction. The league is growing in a healthy direction. But does that really equate to actual overall viewership success? No, right? So on one hand, people can complain about the game is getting better, but then also viewership is declining, right? NBA probably shouldn't have to worry about viewership at this point anymore. They're locked in, they got their money, and they're going to continue to make money. Of course, the networks would love to give viewership, but if you're the network, you're making that gamble, right? It's not an NBA problem. Of course, the NBA is going to try to do their best to help the product all the time, but I mean, if your network clamoring to get this, get these games and these finals, and hope to have these finals aired on your platform, then it's not going to be good. I mean, the finals have been on ABC for a while, so I mean, ABC, Disney, they make a lot of money regardless. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm sure they would like to see it go up a little bit more. So look, I don't want to say people aren't interested. It could be some of that, and it also could be a fact that look, people are interested. Two small market teams, not enough household names. So many other things to factor in, but I mean, look, I think even if LeBron or KD or Steph was in these finals, right? The old guards of the face of the league currently, right? Like, would the Brady's be up a little bit more? Sure. Maybe if the New York Knicks were in the finals, that would have helped tremendously for not the NBA, but for the networks, and we didn't get that, or they didn't get that. So very interesting though. Not really sure to pinpoint, right? If we want good basketball, we got two teams that give us good basketball that play good basketball. So it can't be bad product when these teams are playing good basketball, right? So what is it then at this point? I mean, the day and age of different entertainment options and viewing options, I think NBA is just not really going to be at the forefront. Like, I mean, NHL's having this issue, MLB's having this issue. The only league that's really doing really well for the most part is the NFL viewership wise. So I think this is not really an NBA issue or lack of interest. I just think that overall people's interests are other places. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.